person who has no path to follow is lost and directionless. It's only a sound mind and eager soul who learns to create one and walk alone till it becomes the path of life. Hello, everyone. I'm Seema, and I welcome you all to another insightful session on great principles. Joining me in conversation is Mr. Rajiv Singh, Principal Skylark World School, Vrindavan Yojana, Lucknow, who states that educator owe it to students to carve out a path for them to walk with their heads held high. So please welcome my very exceptional educator of the day, Mr. Rajiv Singh. Welcome to Great Principles, sir. We are very eager to hear you.
Thank you, Seema, for giving this opportunity. I'm also excited to share my views, and I've heard a lot about the great principle, and I was also eagerly waiting to come to this platform. Thank you so much.
We are honored to have you, sir, and we would love to hear your ideologies today. So let us begin. When you started your career, be of an educator. So let's start from there. So once upon a time, you actually aimed to be an army officer like your father, and however, the children won, and you also chose to be an educator. So, sir, I have heard a lot about army life. It teaches you so many things. As as a child, you must have seen your father, and you must have imbibed some of the traits from him. So, sir, which army lives have you introduced in your role as an educator?
Sure. Uh, I have been with my father and all this thing and doing effort. It was my father's dream, and ultimately, being a teenager, I adopted that dream for myself also. And I always used to dream myself in the uniform of army and all these things, and with a lot of passion for that. So 1999, I qualified CDS, and it was 2000 Feb, where I attended Allahabad 18 SSB board, and I got through also. Uh, I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, I got temporary unfit in medical, and then I could not clear it out. But that was a very tender age. Maybe I would not have been very mature enough. The dream was there. And once I entered into the education field, it started giving me feeling of it is my passion. Now I feel like I was actually meant to be a teacher. But still, yes, there are various ways of serving our country. Coming back to the values of army and all these things, there are certain things which I have seen in my father, and I definitely try to bring or inculcate into me. The first thing I love is integrity. That is the biggest thing we lack these days. Second, while I teach or while I hold a position of leader in a school, teamwork is one of the biggest factor for me. Together you win and together you lose. You just empower your team to go ahead, be at the back, let them take the ownership, and you never know what wonders they can do. Combining multiple minds or working several minds together is definitely better than the one. So this teamwork, I very much believe in. Other than these, I am an initiative taker. I love the people who take initiative. No matter you commit mistakes, mistakes are the opportunity to learn, and then you should have passion to acquire anything. So these are the qualities of army, which is applicable to the school education also, and I love to go by that.
So today you made me learn so many other qualities of being in an army, because I, as a layman, I always thought only one thing: army teaches discipline. It teaches so many things, and
So
today I got
that's
to know this.
that's how I have not talked about discipline. That's a very common proverb, and
Yeah, yeah.
discipline, of course, is everywhere in our family, in our teaching life. So it is a quite obvious thing. It has to be everywhere. But these are the things. So thank you, Sima.
Yeah, yeah, because as you were talking, I could just imagine. Yes, integrity is there. You have to have it, and without teamwork, how are you going to fight so many battles out there? You have to take up your team together. So there were so many things I got to learn today. So talking about your background, your father's background, there's one more question which is there in my mind. How do we develop in the mindset of our children the love for country? How should we, ensure that they take pride in their country?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And
Thank you.
see, it is something which comes through two ways. Either you have survived, well, seen that condition when we say country, what actually it means. When we say motherland or when we say Bande Mataram, what does it mean? It's not merely a song. We are connecting to a piece of land which is giving us everything. Just imagine if it is not secure, we won't be able to sleep. If the farmers are not able to produce, we won't be able to eat. So when we talk about our country, it's in fact our survival, the security, the food, the basic needs. So if we are not respecting our basic needs, then no matter how much religious we are, what religion we follow, these all things are useless. Until we are not secure, we don't meet the basic needs. So first thing is to respect our motherland, and this definitely army people are very particular about that. But yes, I respect the civilians also. I believe most of our citizens love that this our country, and this the feeling of country and the feeling of love towards motherland should be there. That is the only way we can become a developed nation from developing one. So I
Certainly,
believe.
sir. Certainly, sir. I have grown up, and every day I have, read out the pledge, India is my country, every day with the great pride, and we used to sing the national anthem too. But still, I still feel there is something lagging at school level where we are still not able to inculcate that take pride in your country sort of feeling. So, what can we do there?
We should start thinking above the level of selfishness. When we sing the national anthem, we should proudly feel that it talks about the various reason, various culture. It talks about unity in diversity. That means it talks about we are one. It doesn't matter how much we are tempted towards the physical or materialistic thing or the facilities and all these things. This is not permanent. We cannot sustain these things until and unless we are not understanding the meaning of nationality. And nationality, in other terms, is the guarantee of your safety, is the guarantee of your good future, is the guarantee that coming next year, 10 years from here, you are seeing yourself at a different position. So the one who is not feeling is, I will say, the person is not having vision at all. Nationality is something I will relate it. The vision 10 years from now or 15 years from now, where do you want to see? Without being a framework, a safety, a basic need made, we will land up nowhere. So the
Absolutely,
students means,
sir.
yeah, of course, this some of our younger generation, they will take some time. I'm very optimistic. They also love their nation. They may be tempted towards the facilities and comforts of the life, but that's a very short span. I've seen people transforming. I've seen myself transforming what I was 20 years back and what I am. So I'm very hopeful that the this our nationality and these feelings and all this our younger generation will take it much ahead.
Absolutely, sir. And you very well said that you should feel secured where you are, and that is your motherland, and you should feel that yes, I am the part of this. And I think the best example was the Ukraine crisis when our Indian children were brought back to the country. So that is was the one real life example which our children could understand that how it affects. So moving ahead to the next question, sir. It says that we are all as unique as our fingerprints, and we all have our own pattern. So do the children. They are also unique. So tell me, sir, how can educators learn to assess and help children become the best version of themselves later as adults?
Yes, this is the point which always goes in my mind. I will start with saying, how can we assess an artist by giving him a physics numerical problem? He is an artist. He is no less than a mathematician. We simply, as a teacher, it has become a tradition, but thanks to the NEP 2020, the things have started changing. We simply, if any student is coming to us, we simply ask them, okay, what is your score in physics? What are you going to do? Are you going to score 95%? That means we are trying to fit a student whose aptitude and whose talent is in some other direction to a scale which is not meant for him or her. How can you produce a common scale for the person whose talent is something different? Physics, math, chemistry, all this thing does not define the capacity. I'll just like to name some people who have not got a formal education at all, or they have left the incomplete school education. I'm not talking about the college. And still they were wonderful. They made their name. And the reason is the world tried to fit them on a prefixed scale which was not meant for them. Like, I would love to quote Michael Faraday. He was the first one to come up with or succeeded with liquefying a permanent gas. He was the one who gave the theory of electricity and magnetism, which we are using nowadays, maybe generator or motor or a lot of things. I would like to talk about Thomas Alva Edison. I would like to talk about Albert Einstein. I would like to talk about Bill Gates, Benjamin Franklin, Walt Disney, Charles Dickens. None of them were able to complete their school education, but still they were wonderful. You understand when I say wonderful, they were as successful as anyone can be. So this is what the new NEP. I have very high regards for NEP. This would have been done much before. So now we are going to test children at their different potential. I have taken 4 or 5 students for experiential learning, and I'm showing them a model. Some may be interested in sketching the model. Some may be interested in calculating the dimensions of the model. Some may be interested in talking about the environmental condition of that. So the one particular aspect shown to the student, and when the teacher is asking, no, this is the answer, is completely wrong. Let us be facilitator only. Let them think in the multi-directional dimension. All dimensions should be explored. And definitely, that's how I say that all the children have unique potential. It is we lack potential. We are not able to identify them. Once we identify them and guide them properly, they will do wonders.
Certainly, sir. I completely agree with you that this should be the way. But unfortunately, I will get the marks only if I write the definition given in the book. I will not be given granted the marks if I write what I understood from it. So, I think this also needs to be changed along with it. Let us assess the child on the basis of his understanding rather than just spitting out what he has learned out there, just recalling what he has learned and just figuring out what and where few words are missing. I think this is one small minute change that NEP needs to do, that grant the marks even if the child has the concept clarity. And I think then we can expect all these changes that you're talking about. That it would be such wonderful thing that we are not assessing the children just on the base of their answers and on the base of their rote learning. We are assessing them on the application of the learning. That is what is required. So wonderful thoughts, sir. Completely admire your thoughts. Moving ahead to our next question. So as educational leader, we need to know whether our work is generating the results or not. As you said that you are now trying to focus that whether few of the children are doing different things and they are succeeding or not in their life. So school progress depends on many factors, on staff, on students learning, and some of the recognition are those which come from outside world, which earns the name for the school and for the leaders themselves. So any award out there has justified your achievements in the field of education?
Right. See, Seema, when you talk about awards and the people are crazy pro awards, I have a different perception in my mind. I will rather say, this is my thought, I think little differently. There are two type of awards. One is something physical like memento or trophy or certificate you are getting. And while you are getting it, the primary thing in your mind is to showcast it that I have got this, X, Y, Z, like that. If I talk about that, I have got UP Governors Award while I was in Vidyagyan. That's a philanthropic project from HCL. That was a residential school wherein we selected the poor children of the rural background, and everything was free of cost. And you need to work from class 6 to class 12, keeping them in the campus and improving them. And it was a wonderful experience. I worked 8.5 years like that. So therefore, some innovations in my mathematics teaching and creating some innovative models. I designed some unique maths park type things, which was a dynamic park, unlike other park. Then I designed this mathematical lab wherein they can feel what the problems they are doing on pen, they can do it and all these things. So some innovative models designing and teaching method, I got their award. That is one. Second thing, recently the India Education Award, they have given me the best educator in teaching methods, innovative methods and best practices. And other than that, while I was working in HCL, so there was a special award after 3 4 years. They declare it based on the performance. That is called as the Future Leader Award, wherein they select one or two person to impart the future training, and that they expect that they will be taking up the role of leaders in the future. So that was the third one I got. And other than that, the minor ones like the working companies like directors on all these things giving appreciation letters are many. But here I would like to talk about two more things, which is really very close to my heart and which is different to me and which I really consider as an award. The first thing is when I started career in 2001. It was Kendriya Vidyalaya as an ad hoc teacher in Assam. My father was in army. After some time, he got posted to Punjab. So I had no option to stay all alone. And after doing my duty, 3:30, 4 o'clock, when I returned back, traveling 25 kilometer by bicycle up and down, and then I have to cook food for myself. So this was there. So there was a proposal from the Indian government which was called as a mother school project. It talked about giving mathematics and computer education. That time computer was a very hot cake. So giving mathematical and computer education to the poor child of rural background. They were supposed to come after 4:30 to the various Kendriya Vidyalayas, and somebody has to take the charge. So it went to several teachers, and I appreciate their thinking also. They refused. They said, no, it's already 4:30. I can't stay late evening and all these things. So here, why I'm quoting it here is, at times there are more than two people to fight for an award, and at times there is no one who is ready to take up the challenge. So I happily took up. I had a passion. I was young at that time, and it was near about 4:30 to 6:30. I have to work with two different schools. They were coming to the Kendriya Vidyalaya computer lab. I have to teach them, and the progress was definitely recorded and evaluated. And I become so close to them by their learning, by their teaching methods. They liked me and all those things. So that was a 3 4 month project, and it was wonderful. Of course, the certificates and trophies and all those things were given to me, but that hardly matters. So that is one thing very close to me where I find that I have been recognized. Secondly, while I was in Punjab with my father, along with working in school, my regular schedule, I got free generally near about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I was passing by once. I saw the Asa school, which is for the gifted children there. And then the question in my mind was, why not to work for them at least for 2 hours, 3 hours? So I voluntarily taken up that project, not because of the money. Money was not the factor. It was just I wanted to spend some time with them. So for 2 years, I have taken a project of teaching computer and mathematics to the gifted children also. And of course, the certificates and all these things were given. But these two things are very close to my heart as an award. So that's how I called it a physical award or the actual and the abstract award. So this thing means each one of us should at least contribute something to the society. And that happiness is the biggest award, I feel. Yes.
Certainly, sir. The joy of giving back is that can't be measured. I think it's so beautiful, and you can just feel that thing. It can be just felt. So yes, that is the only award which stays in your heart forever. The frames and trophies are hung and kept in the corner, but what gives you joy is I was the person who could create a difference in someone's life. I had given back. So this is the biggest feeling one can ever have. So moving ahead to my next question, sir. As there are awards and recognitions and happy moments, there are sad moments also, there are difficult times also, and during such times we need those supporters, those who are our genuine supporters. So who is your that genuine supporter or that educationist whom you look upon for your support in such times?
Yes, sure. Uh, Going by my journey, I have met a lot of principals, directors, and a lot of them, and each one of them have guided me some or the other place, and I have learned a lot. But especially here, I would like to take two, three names. When I started my journey, and this I'm going by that, and I believe 2013 I was in Vidyagar, and this is the HCL project. So there, Mr. David John Sickley was the principal, and vice principal was Madam Nutan Singh, who is now no more because of the COVID. She lost her life. So, although that time I thought that I'm trained enough to take up the position of senior coordinatorship and all these administration and all these things, but then I realized that how what is the teamwork, and you can be very talented. You can work all alone sitting in one corner, but that's nothing. When it comes to managing a team of there, the team was approximately size of faculty size of 90 to 95 teachers. So when you are given the responsibility to manage the team, because team management and this conflict management and this collaboration and all these things, so these two leaders taught me a lot. Of course, their teaching style was different. They will say, "I don't know, you have to do it. Just do it. You slog and do it." But that's a way. Every leader is having a style. Then, secondly, I would like to take a name of present principal of Sindhia Boys of Gwalior, Dr. Madhav Dev Saraswat. He is very close to me. He is my leader or guru in the sense that when I am emotionally upset and then when I find no ways and whom to talk, so I generally call him, and he's a very busy person, and he gives a lot of time to explain the emotions and all those things. Here also in Skylark World School, our CEO sir, Mr. KV Hariharan, he is a very good person, and he's a tough taskmaster. He will throw you to do. You will first believe that, oh, I can't do it. But the situations and the scripts means after 2, 3 days, you will yourself go to him and you will say, thank you, sir. Had you helped me, I would not have learned that. So he is a wonderful person. And with him also, I'm learning a lot. So these are
Certainly.
the I have learned a lot from them.
It's so wonderful, to have that go-to person always who understand what your work is, and at times you just need someone to hear you out, and that also helps you. So you need such people in your life always, and I suppose you're really blessed because I think being an a student, being a child to an army officer, you must have changed many schools also. You must have traveled across the country just shifting the school, so there must be so many people getting attached to you in your life. So you are actually blessed to have so many people in your life. So on this lovely note, let us reach to the very favorite section of the show, which is my favorite. This is called rapid fire round, sir. So I will be asking you some fun facts about you, something on apart from educator's journey. So let us begin our rapid fire round, and you have to answer in one word or one sentence.
Okay.
Okay. So here comes my first question. Why do people hate mathematics? So many of them. I mean, not all of them.
Because they have not got good teacher, it's an ugly subject.
One a wonderful answer. A teacher can make you fall in love with subject for sure. All right. So you love to travel. So where did you travel last?
Last time I was in Alwar, Rajasthan, for my PhD research, which I am doing in mathematics on time series. And before that, I have traveled to Odisha, Chilka Lake, and all this. I love to travel mountain and sea coast and all these things. So,
All right.
in fact, I've traveled, you're right, I've traveled throughout the India.
Okay. Coming up to the next question. Which is your favorite dish, and which is the dish everyone has relished which have been cooked by you?
And I'm very fond of cooking. Uh, for vegetarian, actually, I'm a non-veg, so most of the time, 90% I spend on the non-veg cooking. But for vegetarian dish, uh, I love to prepare a platter in my own innovative style, wherein a lot of green leaves half cooked and with some nuts are there. So I believe I'm very confident everybody will love that. So I prepare a very nice platter of green leaf vegetables and nuts with that. And non-veg, I prepare a lot of new things with innovations, some roasted and grilled, pan grilled things. I love to prepare that.
Okay. So cooking helps you to dash fill in the blanks.
It helps me to release my stress. Nearly I cook every day after my duty.
Wow, this is good to hear. Ask a mother and she'll say, "Don't send me in the kitchen. This is the last thing that I want to do." And we have someone who, after having the entire day at office, is going into the
You
kitchen.
don't believe means I have to ask my wife to leave the kitchen. So I will say, no, I don't want a traditional style. I'm just going to create new. And I have a son. He waits for every evening that what Papa is going to create today. So I
Wow,
just take care that what I have done yesterday, today is different.
wow, wow. That's really wonderful to know from you, sir. Moving ahead to my next question. Name the last two books that you have read.
Pardon, Sima, I did not get it
The
clearly.
last two books that you read.
Okay. The last one which I read was The Leader in Me by Stephen R. Covey. And before that, two books I was reading in parallel. One was The Seven Habits of Effective People and Indomitable Spirit by APJ Abdul Kalam. So these three books I have read it two, three times. And every time I read, I get something new.
All
So
right.
last book I read was The Leader in Me.
So you love cooking, you love traveling, you love meeting new people. What is other thing that we don't know about you? What is that you love doing in your recreational time other than all these activities?
Sometimes like I love to listen music also, but there is hardly any time being in education field. So what I do, I try to do multitasking while I am doing my regular day-to-day work of shaving or going to get fresh. So speaker I generally listen the music so that my mood is motivated before I come back to the school to take up my task. And then 45 minutes to 1 hour I make it sure that I spend in gymming and all these things to remain fit. So that is very important to work longer in future.
Certainly that is. All right. So coming up to the last question in this section, is there any advice that of the past that you would love to bring in present and any advice of the present that you would love to take to your past?
To the You are asking this advice to the children or to my applying to myself?
Yeah, applying to your own life, any advice that you have got in your past that you would like to bring it in present also and let others know about it, and
Yes.
vice versa.
Yes. One thing which definitely works and which I have implemented lately in my life is don't take any decision while your mood is not good and you are in anger. I have taken it and I repent because our thought process is very dynamic. Just this minute and 5 minutes from now, you will have different conclusions. So just have little patience. Take your time to decide for any important thoughts of the life. Okay, and the one which I am not doing and I would have been doing in the past was sometime it is procrastination. We generally think that okay, this is more important, this is less important. So I love that quadrant rule of seven habits. uh, we
Hmm.
can make a quadrant. I believe a lot of people will be knowing that. So
Yeah.
I do know the quadrant rule but I don't follow it. So I feel like 10 years back I had a less habit of procrastination. Maybe my workload would have been less or something like that. So I would like to adopt it once again to avoid procrastination.
All right. Wonderful, sir. It was great to know you in this segment. Now, let us start the last question of the show, which is also called the viewer's choice question. So, my viewer says that humanitarian causes are not restricted or limited to teachers alone. There are many more ways we can help to build a better society. Leaders from all the fields should pick up a cause and aid to the best of their abilities as an educator. Do you believe we can bring education to the less fortunate walking the streets?
Surely, surely. This is a question or a thought very close to my heart. If we look at it, education system is confined to a good education system. When you talk about that, it is confined to a particular section of the society. The one who can pay good fee, the one who can manage the things. So, fine, the one who can pay is something else, but there are talent. This I realized while 2013 to 2021, while I was working in Vidyagyan of HCL, and they used to take entrance of the underprivileged society or the poor one whose income is less than 1 lakh and those who are hardly sustaining. And I was surprised to see the hidden talents in the villages and remote countryside and all these things. That means we are not yet exploring the real talents of India. I was in Vidyagan, and you will not believe it was not a fixed rule, but we just made a landmark for the faculty that below 75% we are going to catch teacher, not the student. And our students took it as a landmark for themselves. Somebody at 78 will be sitting quietly, sadly. I have to counsel them, sir, I have fallen to 78. And you see the result means everybody getting 95, 98 because those were the talented students, but not having money to study. Fine, that was the initiative by Mr. Shiv Nadar. He was the CEO of HCL. Now his daughter, Madam Roshni Nadar Malhotra, has taken up. So that is one thing, but that's not the only way. I mean to say, money is not the primary thing to start any good work. As a teacher or as a responsible member of the society, each one of us can contribute. Let's say that, okay, I'm not very expert of mathematics or science, but I'm good at public speaking. I can conduct a 30, 40-minute class for public speaking, which is very much required these days for the remote children and all these things. They know at least how to speak. Let's say somebody is good at, let's say, cooking itself. You can teach them cooking. You can teach them any soft skill or life skills. You can teach them driving. You can teach them talking in a proper way, behaving. Means there are a lot of soft skills required in the life. You don't need to open a school at all. So the real vision of the education is not the books and all these things. If these books and all these syllabus are not going to make us a good human, it's worth nothing. So we generally travel a lot for tourism. We donate thousands and lakhs of rupees in mandir as a daan. We do all sorts of things which may be meaningful at its place. I will not say it's nonsense, but can't we think of just spending 1% of our money or time to these underprivileged children? And once they start doing it, then the joy of giving this, then only it will be understood. So I believe the children at the street, those who are not having that facility, can be definitely lifted up, provided we in the society, at least 10% of us, decide to contribute some time. If I am not in the position of contributing in terms of money, I can contribute in terms of time, I can contribute in terms of skill. Still, it will benefit you. And we cannot imagine India to be a developed one or a superpower without bringing up these hidden talents of the society. One fraction of society cannot be yielding that result of this becoming a nation becoming a powerful one. We have to have work on this inclusive education, which is also talked about in NEP. So all sections should be explored, all hidden talents should be given chance, and it's not a very difficult task. Let's say that I want to go for a tour of 8 days, I can cut it out for 6 days, and I can spend some time with these children to teach them some skills or some subject. If I want to donate 1000 rupees to any mandir, it can be 500 rupees also, 500 can be as a help to this also. So we have to think on these little things which are very much possible. Once we start thinking on that, definitely all this, the meaning of inclusive education will be actualized. That's how I feel.
Absolutely. So I completely agree with you that, that realization should come from within. That yes, I want to create a change and I want to be the part of contributing to the nation by helping those who are not so privileged. Because I'm the one who was blessed. So why not, just share my blessings with others also. And I really love the point where you mentioned that it's not only about the financial help. You can just take your time, teach them, just ensure that you have just given them a small talk or motivated them or guided them in some or the other manner where they are learning. So this is something very beautiful which I had treasured from today's talk, that it all depends how you want to take an approach to, and when each one of us contribute the little, then the bigger impact will be created.
And Siva,
So
I'm
sir,
telling you, these children will remember you for lifetime. My experiences, I have taken up such 2, 3 projects which I mentioned, and still they are well settled, and they talk about 10 years, 15 years past. You will feel proud of them. So everybody should take it, and then you feel what is the joy of that.
Certainly, sir. When you do something, actually, when we educate them, we are changing their life. And that is what the reason that they remember us forever, because by doing so, we have actually educated one entire generation which will follow that particular child. So it's certainly a wonderful and a very, very noble act to do. So, sir, thank you so much for taking out your time and sharing your wise words with us. There was so much to learn from you. And I think this short conversation is not enough to unfold all the learnings of yours. Anyways, sir, thank you so much for whatever we could, contribute in just little time. And I really loved having the conversation with you. There was so much, such beautiful thoughts you have to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Seema. It was nice. I really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you.